Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a Sunday, well, I guess morning edition of the Offside Zone. I'm your man, Flathead Willie. This is going to be the first ever edition of the Offside Zone airing on YouTube at Flathead Willie. All right, now we got to get right to this. The West Virginia Mountaineers have absolutely been through what I would say is a gauntlet of ranked teams from last year to this year to the ACC, Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Miami, Duke, North Carolina. They're number 4 in the nation. How is West Virginia number 4 in the nation? Whenever they've been through the head coach Elijah Deuce and Derek Goodspeed. Head coach Elijah Deuce and Derek Goodspeed are the Offside Zone's head coach of the year in Heisman. And they always will be. Because this guy is absolutely, since he stepped on the field, since being a true freshman, threw it down. And this year, his development from last year to this year has just, it's been tenfold. Alabama 59-6. FCS East. Yeah, it's their cupcake of the year. Everybody gets one. 108-0. Number 8 Clemson 40-3. Number 16 Notre Dame 37-17. Number 7 Miami 64-14. Number 9 Duke 70-0. And all these teams were ranked higher than this at the time they took them on. I'm just trying to get it out there here. And Florida State, the Florida State Criminals, they went down to 55-17. Nobody likes Florida State, particularly Elijah Deuce and the West Virginia Mountaineers. He held up the execution symbol, and they just started laying bodies down. They take on Bill Belichick's North Carolina Tar Heels and North Carolina football program, and Bill Belichick, the Mr. Mundane. He's got a girlfriend that's like 10 years older than my daughter, which is disgusting. But anyhow, week number 8 versus number 25, North Carolina, which they were higher than 25 at week 8, 62-10. Bill Belichick goes down. Elijah Deuce holds thumbs down across the sideline. Way to go, Elijah Deuce and the West Virginia Mountaineers. Week 9, Thursday, October 28th at Syracuse was a win, 86-3. Wow. 86-3 over Syracuse, and they're tumbling, by the way, in the standings committee. Come on. We have now, this is not helping. Their schedule did not allude to any sort of this is not good for the West Virginia Mountaineers because they went through a gauntlet from week 0 to week 9, and they get 2 bye weeks in a row. We got to do better than that next year, schedule makers. We really got to do better than that. They come out week 12 after a lot of days away from football, but Coach Elijah Deuce had them guys ready to play. ACC tilt, West Virginia, NC State. Saturday, November 20th, West Virginia Mountaineers win 52-21 over NC State. They got another ACC tilt to close out the year, up against Boston College, who's sitting at 500. But this is the perfect type of game. This is the perfect type of game. Come out of week 10 and 11 off the bye. Take on an absolute monster of a quarterback in NC State. Saturday, November 20th should have been a boat race in my opinion because of how good West Virginia is. It ended up being 52-21 as you see there. But like you said, they got Boston College coming up 5-5, 2-4 in conference. But this is the perfect game for somebody to lose a little bit of traction. I don't foresee Elijah Deuce and the West Virginia Mountaineers doing it, but could happen. Moving on to the next team, and I just wanted to air out there that this ain't. We'll get to more to West Virginia, what I ain't happy about, but the fact that they're tumbling and the schedule makers did an absolute terrible job at the beginning of this season. Giving them 2 bye weeks in a row after the gauntlet. I don't understand it. Anyhow, moving on to Arkansas State, as you see here, that Red Wolves team is freaking ripping here towards the latter part. They had a big game coming up against Notre Dame, fighting for their playoff lives, as you see, Saturday, October 23rd. Ow! Notre Dame goes down 35-24. What a game it was. At one point in time, the Red Wolves were down 17-0. If you look at the box score, they came back, roaring back, got the ball back at the beginning of the third quarter, took a lot of time off the clock, getting the ball down the field, really just milked the ball down the field, and a lot of that third quarter off, scored, got it within 3, and then just kept rolling from there. 35-24. What a finish for Arkansas State and Notre Dame versus Notre Dame. If that game would have been at Notre Dame, I don't think Arkansas State wins that game. But anyways, nonetheless, after that game, they pretty well wore out, but they come out 42-19 against Southern Mississippi. Saturday, November 6th at UL Monroe, they won 48-10. And Thursday, November 11th, Shark Davis's favorite week of the year, ladies and gentlemen, James Madison week. They lost 80-0 to the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Oh, go Wolf Den. All right, Saturday, November 20th, they got a Sun Belt tilt here at South Alabama at 2:15 p.m. So they got 2 more games to close out the year, as you see there, Saturday, November 20th, Saturday, November 27th. Now, moving on to Penn State. Heading down to Penn State, the big boy running the house down there. Head coach JG. We love him. Old JG. He had a big game against Michigan, and ever since that close game at Michigan, 49-35, the Penn State Nittany Lions have put the pedal to the floor and haven't looked back. Week number 7 was 105-17. Week number 8, 84-17. Week number 9, 63-31. I mean, these are scores. Listen to this. So let's go. 105-17. They were at Indiana in a Big Ten tilt. The JG monster rolls down to Indiana and just steamrolls the stadium over and leaves. Week number 8, they were home against Maryland. Home against Maryland, rivalry game here. Fear the Turtle. Not really. Win 84-17, Penn State. Week number 9, Saturday, October 30th at Illinois. Win 63-31 in a Big Ten deal. That's just closing out the year with all these. That just close out a Big Ten spectacular. And here we go. Duck down, baby. Duck down. Here he comes, quacking over the pond, and wha-pow! JG center punches him for 63-24 over the Oregon Ducks. Saturday, November 13th, they were at the Purdue Boilermakers, win 66-31. Saturday, November 20th, versus Washington in a Big Ten, which you could call a tilt, but poor little Washington, they didn't stand a chance in this one, 91-3. Grunkmeyer's looking at that Heisman, baby. That's what he wants. Hatchett's trying to get it. And offside zone thinks that you just get, let's just crown him. Derek Goodspeed is the Heisman for the offside zone. So now moving on to some stats here. What do we got here for stats? Season stats. We're going to start off with the West Virginia Mountaineers. Country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. Yeah, West Virginia. Derek Goodspeed. Season stats: passing 403 completions, 547 attempts, 73% completion percentage, 4,757 yards, and 66 touchdowns. That's just what he does with his arm. Let's take a look at what he does with his legs. 143 carries, 872 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 8 carries for 20 plus, as you see there on the screen. That's why Flathead Willie loves this team. He loves them. He loves everything about him. Isaiah Shelton, there, 1,000 yards. He's got 2 receivers near 1,000 yards. 11 games played for both of them. 86 receptions, 1,007 yards, 11.7 per, 12 tutties for Isaiah Shelton. Cam Vaughn, we're rolling with 67 receptions, as you can see there, 947, 15.5 per, 12 tutties. Let's take a look at this defense now. You want to see something here? Let's separate this per sack. 17 for Richard Melhoff. Let's see, Flathead struggles with some of these names. Xander Stone, 16 sacks. Nate Gabriel, 15 sacks. Jadarius Luck, 14 sacks. Daryl Moon, the middle linebacker, number 5'1", 12.5 sacks. Corey McIntyre Jr., Kane Brown. Curtis Jones Jr. So, moving on to the Arkansas State Red Wolves. We're going to move on here, and I just want to comment there. They lost the first game of the year against Clemson by 4 points, and I thought that would pretty well put the icing on their playoff cake. But here they are sitting at, I think, number 11. I don't see the rankings on this page, but let's just take a look here. Number 11, yeah, Arkansas State. Moving up the rankings, they benched Sam Vu. They got 2 3-star quarterbacks in the recruiting chain last season, and Matt Denson has started. Sam Vu, as you see there, started 3 games. He was benched in lieu of Matt Denson. 233 completions on 331, 70% completion percentage, 3,413 yards through the air, 43 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the year. Rushing, this man right here is one of Offside Zone's favorite players, but he ain't the Heisman. I do believe that should be Derek Goodspeed. But Trevor Hatchett's making a name for himself, and let's not deny he's making a case for it. Halfback, 247 carries, 1,482 yards, 6 per, 26 tutties in the rushing grounds. Let's look at him in receiving. Guess what? He's up there in receiving too. 81 receptions, 1,401 yards, 24 tutties for Trevor Hatchett, ladies and gentlemen. And on the defensive side of things, they ain't looking quite as sexy as West Virginia, but Brent Williams, 15 sacks. Kennedy, 15 sacks is quite a bit. Left edge rusher, number 96. Brent Williams, congratulations. 9 sacks for number 99, right edge rusher, Kennedy McDowell. Darren Conley's got 7.5. Kevin Otis has got 6. J.C. Hart's got a sack and a half. Javonte Mackey's got a sack. Alexander Green's got a half a sack. Number 93, the middle linebacker, he's only rolling with a half a sack. So, old Flathead Willie, I think old Shark Davis has been dabbling at playing middle linebacker there, and it ain't going well for him, but whatever. So, head coach Shark Davis there for the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Eliza Deuce for the West Virginia Mountaineers, and old JG for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, moving on to some other things in college football. Let's talk about the college football top 25. This is the first thing that I'd like to talk about that upsets with Flathead Willie. Number 1 named team in the nation, Penn State. I ain't saying they don't deserve it, but I damn sure know West Virginia don't belong at 4. That's what I'm trying to say right now. They 11-0. A 9-1 LSU team don't belong in front of West Virginia. And certainly the Nebraska Cornhuskers ain't been nothing since nowhere, and they don't belong ahead of the West Virginia Mountaineers. It should be, if Penn State, West Virginia, you guys figure it out from there. But that's how I feel. Number 11, West Arkansas State, sitting there at number 11, 9-1, deserve it or not. 80-0 James Madison week. That's their favorite week of the year. But West Virginia needs to be up the chain. Come on now. This is ridiculous. Now, moving on to the Heisman. Let's just start right now. Derek Goodspeed is the Heisman for Offside Zone. That's just the way it is. He come in as a true freshman. He's been like, I got to look here. It's something. There's something. I got to look at my tally here, but I got it wrote down. This kid, since he come in as a true freshman, he's been taking on top 10 teams, top 5 teams. It's the list is long at his accomplishments. And where are we at here? I know he put it in here. My buddy put it in the group chat of his right here. Yeah, they're a good speed. They're 5-0, or 3-0, 5-0, and 3-0 in the top 10. 2-0 in top 5, and that list continued to grow throughout the year. That wasn't even with another game next. That was whenever they were taking on Miami way back when. Their Goodspeed has just lit the college football ranks on fire. I mean, Ethan Grunkmeyer, he's a sophomore, redshirt sophomore. He's been around a little bit, but they're Goodspeed. You know, this is a true freshman come right into college for West Virginia. You know, he's got him another year for sure as a sophomore, but this guy deserves a Heisman. And I ain't 100% sure Trevor Hatchett belongs in front of him. But Darren Goodspeed is the offside zone's Heisman. That's no knock against Ethan Grunkmeyer or Trevor Hatchett, because Trevor Hatchett's one of my favorite players of all time. At this point, Flathead Willie's is. But Darren Goodspeed, he just deserves it. That's just the way it is. We talked about the top 25. We talked about the Heisman watch. We're going to go to the college football playoff bracket. And if you look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen, we got Arkansas State has made it. They're in control of their own destiny. They just need to win these last 2 Sun Belt games, and they will be in. Win that conference championship game, of course. And they're going to remain in them playoffs. So they're going to get there. They got a chance. They have a chance to get to as of right now, they have a path to the national championship that wouldn't go through West Virginia or Penn State as of right now. Now that's more than likely going to change because West Virginia's got a game to play, I believe, like we talked about there, and they're just going to move up the ranks. But Arkansas State, West Virginia, Penn State, our 3 users, they're in there. Shark Davis, Elijah Deuce, JG. They're all in the house in the playoffs. They're all in control of their own destiny. We'll see how it goes. But this is the first offside zone of many to come on YouTube. I thank you for your time. Have a great afternoon and an even better evening. I'm your old man, Flathead Willie, and I'm out.